The deer hunting season has begun in Minnesota already, and in Wisconsin, the rifle season for deer hunting begins in less than 2 weeks. It's a dream of every deer hunter to go out in the woods and bag that big buck. But as exciting as that is, it's almost as much fun to go home and tell your family and friends about the time that you had, how you found the animal, how you bagged it, and of course about how great this set of antlers is. But how would we judge one set of antlers from another? Is it strictly by the number of points, or is there additional criteria we need to examine? Boone and Crockett is a club that provides a scientific way to score antlers, so we compare one set to another. And it's an easy, standardized, and even a fun way to determine which one is superior to another. And so we're going to really see how to do that process, and this will give us really the opportunity to have bragging rights. Because I myself am a hunter, and being a hunter, we love to tell stories, but also I am a family person. I have brothers, and brothers being brothers love to compete and outdo one another. So this gives us the information we need to see who's coming out on top. The information I received comes from the Boone and Crockett Club website. They have a page on there that we can access, and we enter our scores and our measurements, and immediately it gives us our score right back. Also, the publication, A Boone and Crockett Club Field Guide to Measuring and Judging Big Game, goes into greater detail and provides reasons for their measurements. And I also asked the audience to analyze these two questions and got their opinion on these. What do you know about the process of scoring white-tailed deer antlers? And how do you feel about the concept of trophy hunting? Excuse me. The respondents did not fully know how to do the process. They made comments like, I know the more spikes they have, the better. And I think the width of the antlers, I'm not sure of other criteria. One individual did know that for a tine to be scored, it has to be at least 1 inch. That is true. We'll comment on that again later. Now, regarding the concept of trophy hunting, how did they feel about it? One said, I have no problem with trophy hunting as long as the meat is used. This is a viewpoint shared by all three who responded to the survey. One even pointed out it helps us to save money at the grocery store by using good meat. And so that is a popular viewpoint among hunters, to use the entire animal. So we're going to review the rules for scoring. We're going to review the process, which includes counting the points, measuring the beam in 2 ways, the length and the thickness, and then also the spread. And that will give us the ability to determine and compare between racks such as these. One like this and one like that. This one has more points, but this one has more symmetry and a heavier beam. Which one is better? Well, let's look at the rules first. The first thing we're going to need is a small tape like this one. This tape has a 1/4 inch wide blade, which allows it to be bent around like this in a small circle, which is good for measuring the thickness of the beams. Also, the increments are in 1/8 of an inch, which is important because all measurements are rounded off to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. Once we have all of our measurements, they're added up, and that gives us a final score in inches. 160 inches would get us official recognition from the Boone and Crockett Club. 170 inches would put us in the all-time record book. Neither of these sets of antlers are even close to those numbers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to count points. To do that, we need to even know what a point is. As our one respondent noted, it has to be at least 1 inch long. This set of antlers demonstrates really how to count points. We notice here there's 2 points, what appears to be 2 points. Neither of these themselves is 1 inch long, so we count the whole thing as 1 point, and we ignore this extra little bit. This, of course, is a point. It is over 1 inch long. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. What's interesting about this is this may make it more interesting to look at, but it actually detracts from the score. This is a pure deduction. We would measure this and subtract that from the final score. We get not only no credit, it actually hurts the score. And we're going to see as we analyze this that the deductions on this do impact the score quite a bit. Whereas this one over here is very symmetrical, which is what is sought after by the Boone and Crockett Club, along with heft and size, and no deductions is the key. So we've counted our points. Next thing we need to do is look at our spread. We look at the spread from inside to inside, outside to outside, and then tip to tip. The one that counts for measuring is the inside to inside. The others are only for official use, so they know what the rack would appear like. A heavy beam is very desirable, and that's what we want to see. That's what this one lacks. That's what this one has. And so we measure not only the length of the beam from the base all the way to the point, both antlers, but also between the base and the first point, from the first and second, second and third, third and fourth. Interestingly, for an 8-point, we measure from the third point and the fourth point halfway. That gives us our point to measure. And then finally, we measure the length of the points. Points need to be symmetrical. If one point is much longer than the other, it is reduced so that it matches the shorter matching tine on the opposite antler. So I've measured both of these. Guess which one wins? This has 11 points, this only 8, but this one wins. It is more symmetrical, it has a slightly greater spread, and it has greater mass in the beams. So this one wins at 113, this one loses at 108 points. So now we have the tool necessary to help us determine whose is better. So now we can look forward to going out in the woods, and we know that we need to analyze not just the number of points, but the length of the points, the balance of the points, the spread of the antlers, the thickness of the beam, and really the symmetry of the rack. These things give us a nice high score. So when we go out in the woods, we wish you good luck. Go out there and get that big buck and then tell everyone about it.